Hey everybody, how you doing? Happy Friday. Just angle this camera a little bit. Good enough. Good enough. Welcome aboard, everybody. Happy Friday. Just gonna do a chat style show for a little bit tonight. It is Friday night. Got the big birthday weekend. We just got back from my wife and I went out for a quick dinner, so I'm feeling good and relaxed. We're going to dinner tomorrow. Most celebrations come down to food, so we're going to dinner tomorrow with my kids, and then Sunday probably eat some more food. But anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. I did throw a topic in there, at least I wanted to open up with, because I think it's important. It was something I was thinking about a lot, was consistency, the concept of consistency when it comes to reselling, eBay, even something as simple as YouTube, how important it is. And at least I think it's important. I wanted to kind of hear your thoughts about your own techniques when it comes to consistency with listing, whether it's like a consistent amount on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, even like the methods by which you list. Is there a consistency in there? Like I have the scanner that I use over and over. I have the duplex scanner here. I have a photo booth set up for hard goods, consistent processes, consistency in equipment, to use the same camera, to use the same phone, really like nuts and bolts kind of stuff that I think we can all relate to, but I don't know if we've ever really talked about it, as a group. I thought that might be something interesting to touch on tonight, because I do definitely see the importance of consistency. I think the rewards are pretty good when you're consistent on all of these platforms, especially when it comes down to reselling. The import, we always joke about, you list, you sell. I think that's very true. So anyway, that was kind of the topic for the night. Feel free to talk about anything, but I'd really be curious to hear what you guys think about that in general. Like, do you have consistent practices that you do daily when it comes to your reselling business? I saw a bunch of shenanigans going on before I went live in the comments section, so let's go address that stuff. What's up, Mike? We have a divided by sign. That's an interesting way to kick off a show, but great to have you. What's up, number 2? There he is, fellow dweller. What's up, man? And then those two are just going back and forth. You could read that. Try to scroll down. Try to scroll down. And then we have Todd saying, paging must flip it. Welcome, Todd. Thanks for coming in. More money buying health stuff. Interesting. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Happy Friday. I hate the way this banner cuts across the middle of the page now. Anybody notice that? The used to be kind of down more. I don't know what's going on with that, but welcome aboard, Mark. Good to see you. Has it warmed up out there? It was ridiculous. It was almost 60 degrees today here, which felt like a summer day after the frigid Midwest last week. What's up, Maria? How you doing? Good evening to you. Lovely little icon thing with a dog and a cat. Very cool. Very cool. Hey, CJ, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Everybody's saying hi, getting acquainted. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hi, Hydron. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Happy Friday evening to you. Hope you're doing well. Todd, yes. Greetings to all. Hi, Karen. Welcome aboard. Thanks as always for coming in. Thanks for the kind comments on the recent video uploads. I'm glad it was inspiring and helpful for you. There you go. When you want to be consistent, do the opposite of Carl. No, that sounds harsh. But I really think, I'm sure it's a almost a given, right? You need to be consistent in things. But I don't know, like I said, I wanted to try to speak to direct, what you guys do. Do you have consistent practices that you employ over and over again? Do you see good results from them? You need to change them up. Always an opportunity to change things, right? You need an assistant. That's a great way to be consistent. Get an assistant. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for coming in. I enjoyed doing them. I enjoyed that you guys come in and spend some time with me. Here in the tortoise, the money always wins. There you go. Yeah, I think Mark subscribes to the notion of consistency, certainly. He's whittled down his business to basically, he used to do toys and all these other things, and now he's solely focused on the postcards. List it, forget it, keep listing, sparsity in listing, and it seems to work for Mark. So that's definitely a technique unto itself. What's up, Keith? How you doing? Good evening to you. My goodness. You've been consistently inconsistent. Yeah. I'm not big on the whole concept of New Year's resolutions. I think it's a cute thing to say on January 1st. I'm more into actual how should I say? I guess it still becomes a resolution, but it's not just for New Year's. You know what I mean? It could be changed on March 3rd if you want. You can make a change anytime in your life, your business and all that, on a moment's notice. So yeah, I would consistency. I want to be consistent, whether it's New Year's Day or the middle of the summer or the middle of the fall and everything in between. And I think in general, I am pretty consistent with this stuff. I'm always looking to improve things, improve processes. But I like to find new ways to be more efficient and then kind of put that into my consistency envelope, if you will. But again, I really would love to know what you guys do on your own, the ones that are really successful out there, the ones that want to be successful. Do you have any processes in place? I speak to some of the print ad processes in my series, obviously, about how I photograph, how I do this and that. And that's all fine and well, but it goes beyond that, 45. Yeah, I know. Absolutely, man. It was ridiculous. It wasn't quite 60. It was like 56 or something, which is pretty dang warm. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Hey now, Mike's frisky. What's up, Outlaw Films? How you doing? Welcome aboard. Same here. You need to help me list. But do you need someone to help you list? Is that really true? Do you have the business? Do you have enough volume to warrant hiring somebody? And this is just into you. This is a general question. I think we could all ask ourselves, right? I think you need to really arrive at a certain point where you declare, I need help listing. Your business has to be able to support it, right? It's one thing to just say, hey, I want to pay. I mean, if you can get free help like Mark does, with his lawn needs and his snow removal needs with his wife, who I had the pleasure of meeting as well last almost 2 weeks ago now, Tuesday. But seriously, like to hire an assistant is a very, very big leap. At least it would be for me to hire somebody full-time, part-time, whatever it is, to hand over the reins to something as important as listing. It would be like maybe one of my kids. I've thought about that in the past, especially when they needed some help with stuff. I was thinking of, send them a bunch of magazines and kind of show them in a day, here's how I list things. But for me personally, when it comes to listing, I could see them getting involved with processes like scanning, even like shipping to an extent, but they live too far away now to help me with shipping really. But you know what I mean? Things like that are sort of repetitive processes. The creative element of listing that we talk about all the time in the listing shows, like how to title something, what specifics we want to tick, what specifics we could blow off, if you will. I think that's something that I want to kind of keep to myself. But repetitive, easy, mundane processes like scanning ads, scanning postcards, anything else that's scannable, that's something I would consider potentially hiring or, having somebody else help me with, just to increase overall productivity. But again, it really has to be justified, if you will. You have to be able to get a good return on that if you're going to pony up some extra cash for help. You were getting consistent on your laptop. But, in all seriousness, that's actually a whole other thing. Consistency, and I think I touched on a little bit, consistency in the type of tools we use, right? Do we have backups if the laptop fries overnight? Because they're known to do so. Like I have my main desktop that I work on, but we have a MacBook upstairs. We have like 2 or 3 other laptops. My wife has another desktop. So I think I'm covered on the computer front. But like the scanners, the things that just break down over time, having backups, something as simple as supplies, having your shipping labels in mass, having lots of them. So you're not, what if you have a really good day one day and you reach into your printer or whatever and you have no labels left, things like that, preparedness, getting ahead of things, making sure you have mailers to mail your stuff, all those things. I think that's all part of being consistent, ordering things like this way in advance of running out. Even if it means just putting like some kind of schedule on your, let me get this out of my face, putting a schedule on your computer or something that I know every 30 days I need to order tape or whatever it is, whatever the commodity is that you need to constantly replenish, things like that. All those little things, if you take some time to do it, at least in my case, I really find it very, very helpful, so I'm never up against, with exception, I guess, barring some sort of catastrophe, I'm kind of prepared as best I can be for basic day-to-day stuff. And I don't know, again, we've never really talked about any of that stuff, but I think it's hugely important. Mike says he wants a picture taker. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would love somebody to, and it's not really that I need it necessarily. I think I would just really enjoy being able to open up my folder and have all those scans done for me. That would be pretty cool. That would definitely increase productivity. Like Mrs. Flippett has taken when we were getting all the big lot of postcards I picked up. She was great. Like she sleeved them all for me. We bought a bunch of sleeves and she sleeved everything. That was a huge help, and that was free. I paid in some ways, but not monetarily. But anyway, no, seriously, like things like that, helpful little things to just speed up and increase productivity. The word I keep using tonight is productivity, but hugely important, something to think about, whenever you have some downtime. The goal is to be the best average postcard seller with the best average profits. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Average can be good. And Todd picked up some Victorian trade cards and Christmas postcards. Very cool. I hear they sell all year round. Do both of those products. One video a week right now. You're working on Montreal. Yeah, Mark is very good with the video. He churns them out like a machine. I have not. I do all one-off stuff with my, other than the live shows, but the video videos, like my what's sold every once in a while and some tips or whatever I could offer, then they're definitely not consistent. And that's something I could work at just to try to get my YouTube numbers up. I'm not really concerned about that. I like the little crowd we have, and I have a lot of fun talking to everybody. It was never about that. But with that said, it wouldn't hurt to be more consistent. And, we say you list, you sell. I think if we make videos more consistently, like Mark certainly does, and a lot of other YouTubers do, then odds are you're going to grow and expand your reach. So there's something to be said for that. I don't think it's worthwhile just making a video for the sake of making a video. I mean, who cares? But with that said, like all of us, I follow a million YouTubers, way more than reselling. I'm hugely into music. I'm into Disney stuff. I follow a bunch of people, and I know how it is. Like, you get so used to, or you get excited, in my case, with some of the, the new videos when they come out. I get really excited. I look forward to it. And I look for that consistency. If I know that this, guy that does record reviews does a video every single Monday without fail, I come to expect, when I turn on my computer on Monday at 10 a.m. or whatever time it is, I expect to see a brand new video from him. I'm pumped up. If it's not there, I'm let down. So that's the YouTube thing, and then of course, what do? You zone out. If he misses 2 or 3 weeks, well, forget it. I'm not going to watch anymore. And that's something I need to kind of take to home for me personally. Same kind of thing. If you're not out there frequently, people are going to go. There's 10 trillion options nowadays for everyone to get their entertainment in other places. So that's something I've really taken to heart, is, being consistent, trying to, do fun things that people are interested in, or educational, whatever. But yeah, Mark definitely is way ahead of the curve when it comes to videos. You don't have enough, but if someone was doing your picks, you'd get hella more. Yeah, if someone was doing pictures, it would definitely help. That's one I would really enjoy. Would be somebody, whoever, and fill in the blank who that somebody is. I don't really know, but somebody to scan stuff would be outrageously cool to me. Hey everyone, been a while. Yeah, you too. How you doing, Victoria? Great to see you. Old Man's Picks went to what looked like a promising estate sale today, and Ungats. Oh, sorry about that. I love the estate sales though. They are very hit and miss, but great to see you, man. Great. Welcome to the show. And what are you looking for, Todd? Be specific. Get caught up in what? Is there anything specific that you would, hire somebody? What would you have them do if you had somebody part-time? The only thing I can think of specifically is somebody to scan postcards and scan ads. That would be the most beneficial to me. Again, when it comes to actual listing, I'm too involved with the artistic perspective of that. Coming up with cool keywords. It's hard to just sit down and explain to somebody in the course of a couple of days. Even here's what I look for in this, and this, and I think that's something I would love to retain for myself. I'm certainly not overwhelmed doing that, but the pictures, I'm not really overwhelmed with the scans either. It would just be cool to click on a folder and have, thousands of stuff scanned for me already. I would really like that. But Todd, what would you like help with specifically? Mark does not overthink things, because you spent your whole life thinking too much, right? Working too hard, and now it's time to kick back. I definitely get that too. What's up, Steven? You wish you could. How great was that, guys? I mean, I knew it. I saw that thing. Famously, I think it's still the most expensive baseball card out there is a Honus Wagner card. And I think it's the same image that I found on that ad. It's just an ad for, what was it, chewing gum or something? I forgot what it was. But I saw that image on there, and I'm like, you know what? I'm pricing that thing to the moon. And I had it listed at $200. I didn't see any other comps out there. It's a 1910 during his time, chewing gum ad or whatever it is. I did a short on it the other night because I was sitting here actually listing when I got that sale. I'm like, oh man, I got an offer for 160. I'm like, how do I not take that? And this was tiny. It was a 5-inch tall, 2.5-inch wide ad. But I knew it was money. I knew it was money because of Honus Wagner. Thank you, Stephen. You can find it. I mean, I'd label, remember in the live show the other night, somebody was saying, why do you put specifics? Well, not necessarily asking me why, but saying that, they found some other eBay sellers or whatever that do comparable type of products and they don't put specifics. They just put, I've seen a lot of that too. Like instead of saying, July 1943, it'll just be like 40s ad or whatever. No details, just 40s Ford Motor Company ad. And that's one of the reasons when I put in specifics like that, if you think about it, if you guys happen upon that issue, that 1910 issue of that magazine in your travels, you'll find that ad, So good on you if you can find it. Your video topics are planned for the whole year. You already have your schedule. Yeah, that's pretty cool. See, that's what I call being consistent, being prepared. You just unsub 50 shots. Yeah, because of the lack of consistency, right? Yeah, man, I think that's just natural, And it's not like I don't mean to, I very rarely unsubscribe from somebody. If I took the time to subscribe, odds are I like the content. But I definitely get disappointed if I come to, like the example I gave, there is a guy who does really cool record reviews every Monday. I love the channel. It's mostly Beatle geared. And you really get excited. I look forward to checking out the new video. And he is rock solid, consistent. And if he was to blow off, 1 or 2 weeks, of course, everybody has issues. Like I've had a million, everybody's had it. If he's sick or whatever, no problem. But you come to expect it. It's like watching TV when you're a kid and, Happy Days came on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock and you just knew it was going to be on. If it suddenly wasn't on, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What do? You switch the channel and watch something else. So I think that from the YouTube point of view, it's really important, ultra important to be consistent. But again, not really. I'm not the kind of person. I wouldn't want to just like I wouldn't want to just list for the sake of listing and say, wow, I got 10,000 listings and 8,000 of them are, pieces of yarn, like garbage that nobody cares about. It's much more about quality for me. But same thing with YouTube videos. Like, what's the purpose of just there's people that just pump out these 30-second shorts of them. So here I am walking up my stairs. Here I am going to my car. I mean, who cares? Like that to me, that's just nonsense. But far better from me. I'm sure they get views too. But I'd like to be consistent with quality. That's the goal there. Old man says, congratulations on the HW. Yeah, that was my the most money I ever got on ad. I've been selling a couple that are north of $100, but 160, that's a solid amount, man. On such a tiny little piece of paper that would have easily been thrown out. And that's why I always get back to the people that sell magazines or that are afraid to open up a magazine or afraid to cut up a magazine. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What would somebody have sold that magazine as a whole for? $5 if they're lucky? And one little tiny piece of paper is 160. Yep. You have all your postcards. You will list every month. This year already scanned. See, that's consistency, but that's also efficiency, right? That's proactivity on Mark's case. Mark is like way ahead of the curve. And, planning everything thoroughly in advance. I think that's a great thing. Forecasting. Do I use the glass platen? I don't know. You mean like a plate, like a glass? I use it's referenced down below in my description of this video and all the videos. It's called an Optiplex A3 scanner by Plus Tech. It's a flatbed scanner, essentially, just glass. Yep. And then it has like a lid that you put down. It's just super, super large. It fits. It was made for blueprints originally. I found it a couple of years ago when I was getting very frustrated trying to find a means of scanning these larger ads as opposed to just taking a picture with my phone. And a lot of people take pictures with their phone, and as long as it's flat and all, they look perfectly good too. I just like the consistency, actually, of the ads listed, that they're not, skewed in most cases anyway. They're not skewed. They're not curled. They're not, different light on them. Like a lot of people I've seen sloppily, they throw a piece of paper literally on the carpet or something. And they take a picture from up in the air and it's crooked, presentational. I think it's really important, especially when you're in a competitive field. Everything is competitive on eBay, but when, any leg up you can get via quality, I'm all for. You had an all destroyed 1882 Bible and cut up the color plates. Probably sold $200. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of carving stuff up. I just don't care. Especially, I mean, that's not that I don't care. I wouldn't, not something sacrilegious, but when it comes to magazines, dirty old magazines that have been sitting around in somebody's basement for 100 years, who cares? Correct. They were all, exactly. By definition, ephemera is something that had a short lifespan in theory. So the fact that I have a 1910 magazine intact is a miracle unto itself, you know? And they were meant to be discarded and read like a newspaper, right? It's a daily piece of ephemera that you read it the day and it's basically irrelevant the next day. Same concept. So I don't have any I don't hold on to these things like they're precious commodities. Carl finds it hard to be consistent. If I have a responsibility to someone else, that helps a lot. That's a great point. Right. You want to be, excellent point. You want to be reliable and you want to be there for that person. Totally agreed, man. So maybe you need to just employ that same philosophy for yourself, right? I need to be there for myself. I need to, if you find yourself being inconsistent, and this was not the goal of this conversation, was to make people feel guilty that they're not consistent enough. I was just curious if collectively, if you guys, like Marcus spoke to his, but trying to get ideas from other people, to be honest with you, selfishly, and share some of mine. What can we do, or what can we discuss to become more efficient, to become more consistent? Again, not just listing, but even down to when, we're talking about laptops crapping out on you and things like that, having backups, having ink for your printer, having paper to print on, having labels, having a couple of printers. What if your printer craps out in the middle of, Murphy's Law? It'll happen. You'll get 100 orders one day and you'll be doing a jig and then you got to print out this stuff. You have no ink left. You have no this left. That really isn't consistency. That's more efficiency and preparedness. But I think they all they're all tied together. I'm a big fan of all that stuff. And that to me is a true, resolution worthy thing. I want to be more, I'm using the umbrella name consistent, but it really applies to all that other stuff we've been talking about. And not just say I want to do this, but actually act on it. I go out and buy another, Epson ES400 in case this one dies, because I've been using it for a couple of years. It might just die on me one day. I want another one. I don't have to wait. And yeah, it's money, but it's all investment. It's an investment in your business. It's a necessity. It's a business necessity. Being a musician, I break guitar strings every night. When we just went on this tour, I had literally 20 packs of guitar strings in one of my cases, because odds are I'm going to break a string during the show, and I don't want the show to be let down because I broke a string. Things like that. Just basic things that we all could do and probably should do. And I know a lot of us don't, because of course I don't with everything I could either, but it's just something I want to be very aware of. Take a minute, think about the calamities that await us all, expect them, and take steps to try in advance to try to, mitigate the effect of those calamities. Keith, the question they always ask at sales meetings is, do you need motivation? Do you need more discipline? Myself and most others always need more discipline. Yeah. But again, it's a good word, but in what sense? Like specifics. What do you mean? Discipline at what? At saying I'm going to list 50 things every day and doing it? Like, what's discipline in what regard? Probably the ultimate example, Mark. Yeah. Or a Kleenex, blow your nose, or a Q-tip. Sure. If you sell 300 postcards a month, you want to have 450 envelopes. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Make sure you have backups in place for backups. Things break down, things by nature. All this machinery and stuff we use is kind of made to die, just like we are, and it's good to have backups if you can. Old Man's Pick says, you don't know if it has been consistency or just better stuff, but 2024 has been off to a good start. Awesome. What have you been doing differently, man? Have you been doing anything differently and that you could attribute to the success so far? 3.5 weeks into the new year. There are little things you do that help clean work area. Absolutely. Have a spare roll of thermal labels. Yep. Yeah, that's huge. As clutter-free as we could be with a workspace. I agree totally, man. Yep. And yeah, getting ahead of supply shortages, trying to make sure you always have, ample supply on hand to switch out and not miss a beat. Because again, it's human nature. You get on a roll with anything, whether it's listing or cleaning your house, doing whatever you want to get a roll on. And there's nothing worse than when you're in the mood to do something and you're on a roll and, oh, there goes, the lights went out in the house. Now I have to stop. And what happens once you stop? It's so much harder to get back up and do it again or continue if you're on a roll. So, the example that he just used, like if, again, I'm printing labels and all of a sudden I have no labels left. Oh, well, now I can't print anymore. Now I'm going to go sit down and make a cup of coffee and come up with 20 more reasons why, I'm not going to list tonight because I can't, whatever it is, those things like that. I try to avoid all that at all costs. You do have a tablet that you use for what? Not sure. I guess you could use a tablet. I guess you could. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the mobile app when it comes to eBay, but if I had to, I would have to, But definitely laptops, man. And I'm not saying that they're cheap items. They're so much cheaper than they used to be. Even if you got like a little Chromebook, that $200 as an emergency backup for a laptop calamity, we're lucky enough we have several computers. I know Mark probably has a house full of computers. We have like 4 or 5, so I could relatively easily jump onto any of these other machines and continue work as usual if this thing just exploded one night. But maybe like look into just getting a cheap backup if you don't have the money to borrow. You don't want to spend the money on a full-blown laptop. Because honestly, when it comes, especially if you're just talking about eBay, what do you really need? You don't need like, tons of software. You don't need 32 gigs of memory to open up a browser and go to eBay. You need, maybe a photo editor on there, which are most of them are free and very low storage. You need some kind of storage to store photographs. What do you really need? You don't need the world's fastest processor. So something like a Chromebook is really good as a backup, purely eBay listing, printing from, researching on machine. Might be an option if you could swing something like that, if you don't want to spend the money for a nice laptop. Discipline in listing an organization or doing something consistent to keep things going for sales or so you know where things are. That's a mouthful. Discipline in listing or organizing or doing something consistent to keep things going. Yeah, that's kind of an ongoing sentence about everything we've been talking about, right? With you there, Keith, with you. Backup. That's very true. Keep all your shipping boxes organized. Cool. That way I can easily tell if I want to have a box size, no piles around. Yeah. Oh, there's a very, really cool suggestion right there. That's a great idea, Cole. Right. Instead of having a hodgepodge of boxes, yep, you have a box and you know exactly, or a mailer or whatever it is, and you know when you're down low and you can order new. Totally cool. You're trying to get there. Your new shipping and hangout area is going to be fun when you get it all set up. Shipping/hangout area. There you go. You're going to have a bar at your shipping station? No, man, I feel bad that you lost it, but you know what I mean? Come on, let's get another one. Let's get another lap. Go get a Chromebook for $189 in Walmart, and then you have something to work on. Should allow, and then you could save up to get a real quote-unquote laptop. But really, if it's just for eBay, again, you don't need like super high specs or anything to open up a browser and list some items. You just do the basic source list, sell, pack, and ship. A lot of it is probably noise and overthinking and fodder for YouTube. You think it's worth it? You're not perfect, but being able to find something tilts me very quickly. Cool. Hey, Blue Feather, how you doing? Processing the magazines, you often get bogged down reading all the articles. You love his. Welcome to the show. I could see that, but I don't. I mean, if I was going to do something like that, maybe like after you take out your ads and you scan them and they're ready to list, then hang out with the remains and peruse on an evening or something. I would probably recommend doing that. I'm very lucky that way. I'm not one to be distracted by stuff. I'm really not. I've never been. If I'm in the zone, whatever, like I said earlier, if I'm listing print ads, I'm listing print ads. I'm not. I'll have music going in the background, but I'm not watching a movie. I'm not easily distracted like that. Maybe I'm lucky. Like, I don't care. I like the history too, but I'm not going to sit down and read 20 pages of a magazine and say, oh man, I have to scan them. Maybe save the fun stuff for later on in the evening or something. Or when you have some downtime after you've, done the processing would be my suggestion. You were consistent through Christmas. You kept a backlog of scheduled listing. Cool. Of scheduling items to drop off the first week of February right now. Very good. Money pile. I love all the different synonyms for death pile. Money pile. Love it. Love it. Love it. Having multiple screens is key for me. I hate listing on one screen only. Monitors, you mean? You have dual monitors or something? But these are all cool things. I figured everybody had their own techniques and stuff, and I really wanted to hear what they were. You actually have an old desktop you're going to have to bring back to life. There you go. Bam. Problem solved, man. Plug and play. 3 tape guns. Actually, that's another really good example. I have like 2 or 3 tape guns. Even though I don't use the guns often. I got those, the Uline. I got the nice heavy based tape things that just sit on my desk. I forgot what you call them. I think they're from Uline. We have like 2 or 3 of those. Those are really cool. I have one that I have like my eBay tape on. I have one that has clear tape for Whatnot sales or Etsy sales or Macari sales. So I don't use the eBay tape on, stuff that was sold on a different platform. That might be picky, but I just think to myself, I'm waiting for the day when, let's say somebody's a Macari buyer and they hate eBay for whatever reason. I'm waiting for somebody to write something like he shipped it in an eBay envelope or had eBay tape on it. So I use the clear tape for non-eBay sales, basically. Utility knives. Cool. You could do a couple things very well and a lot of things well, so you focus on the couple things. There you go. That's another t-shirt. You would die without 2 monitors. I have mine's like, I don't know. I have a super wide monitor with the curved, so it does the business. I have another computer right to my left, so really that is another monitor, but I really only use it for YouTube so I can see chat and stuff when I'm doing listing. 2 monitors. And what do you do if you're doing an eBay? We're sitting down. Hydran is sitting down. She's going to list. I'm just making this up. She's going to list 100 postcards today. Hydran sits down with her dual monitor setup. What are we utilizing the dual monitor system for? What do we have on one monitor? What do we have on the other monitor? I want to know the process. And why do we feel the need to have both of them? Sell me on it. Two monitors are a must, eh? Tell me why. Why are they a must? And I'm dying to hear these answers. Another question, is anybody doing any sourcing activity as we head toward the end of January now? Anything coming up for the weekend? Anybody's planning to attend any auctions or estate sales or flea markets? I wish we could find a flea. I'm dying to find a good flea market around me. I have never had one, honestly. And when I say around me, I'm saying like a 50-mile radius. I've never had any luck finding flea markets. We have indoor flea markets, which are But I want to find those good old-fashioned. You find them more in the South. When I lived in Florida, they were all over the place because the weather is obviously quite different. Where people would just like back up a truck and, display their wares. It was nothing fancy. Those are the kind of ones you want to go to and the kind of places you want to buy from. It's like mom and pop, not like professional flea marketers, who are basically just resellers doing the same thing we do. All right, I'm seeing some techniques here. Hold on. You see, now this is a great, my face on one. Now that's a justifiable reason to have dual monitors. If ever I've heard one, I like it. You have your inventory list on one monitor and tabs to eBay and WorthPoint for comping. Interesting. Hydran, one monitor, eBay, internet, second monitor for inventory, spreadsheets, and pictures. Very cool. And the other monitors, your eBay listing you're working on. Cool. And Karen has one screen, eBay listing, another has open eBay search, WorthPoint. Very cool. Yeah, I don't physically have room on my desk for because this one is so big. I couldn't even imagine. I like the ones that are the vertical monitors. Those are kind of cool. When I used to work in Manhattan, I don't know, a little while ago, they came out with those vertical ones that you could spin. That was kind of cool. We had stock tickers and things on one, and I definitely needed it when I was working, doing the Wall Street stuff. That was very, very handy. But I like the width of this monitor accommodates, I could, and now with the 11, you could do like what Mac's been able to do for years with the, it breaks it into quadrants and all that stuff. It's pretty easy. But I think it's great. I mean, why not? 2 is more fun than 1. So they say. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? Good evening to you, sir. We're talking consistency, processes, ways to gain efficiency. What can you contribute to the conversation, Jeff? This is an open forum. I'm looking for ideas to steal. Listen to. Steven, off topic. Here we go. You opened a storage bin yesterday that you hadn't looked for in probably 30 years. It was loaded with Disneyland stuff from when you went there in 74. That is cool. Disney. Sells a lot. Worked there for a couple of years. Highly collected. In case you didn't know. I'm sure you know, Steven. Oh, my God. Enzo. What's up, Enzo Topeka? Well, that's a good question. The ebbs and flows of life, the tides have turned. Thank God I'm not doing that anymore. Thank God I'm not doing it. I started in 86 and I quit in 18. That's a while. Uh-oh, cha-ching? Oh, with the Disney thing. Yeah, absolutely, man. I would love to see some of that stuff, Steven, or if you could just talk about what you find, the treasures that you find in there. Yeah, I know. She's got to be anxious. It's been a couple of days since she's had to shovel, right? What's up, Ralph? How you doing? You're a one monitor guy on a mini desktop PC and a Chromebook for the easy chair. There you go. Yeah, I'm not like married to the notion of only having one monitor or having two. I just was curious what you guys use the dual monitor setup for. I could definitely understand it because having worked with them at work for a while, it was cool. Like there were trading systems I had that were always up to enter tickets and stuff. So that was like on one screen. I could definitely see that. And then the research portion and all the other stuff was on another one. Yeah, I definitely see a need for that. It's amazing how quickly you adapt to anything, whether it's going up to two or going down. If you get used to using two and you suddenly have to use one, it seems impossible. When you're very comfortable using one and you suddenly have two, it's kind of weird. Like, well, what do I need this for? But we're adaptable animals, I think, the human race. We adapt to weather conditions, to situations. You kind of just adapt quickly, too. One day you're going to get around to looking at 8 millimeter footage. Yeah, that's good stuff. There's tons of that stuff on, speaking of YouTube videos to watch and channels to watch, there's a whole early 70s films, 8 millimeter films and the like at Disney World stuff. It's a channel that specializes in all of that stuff. It's really cool to see. We went 72 was my 71. It opened in fall of 71. We were there like in February of 72 was my first visit when I was a kid. And my mom definitely has. I remember it was a few years, like maybe 76-ish, because they had the parade had like a bicentennial theme to it. I remember seeing that one. We have like 8 millimeter camera stuff from 76, which is really nice to see now. Silent though. Sadly, they were all most of them were silent back then. It is very cool and very fun. Agreed wholeheartedly. We haven't been since October, my wife and I, which, believe it or not, for us is a pretty long spell. And then we have we're going away next month for a little bit, at the end of next month. Maybe we could squeeze in a quick long weekend in Disney in February. A little cheaper in February. Because believe it or not, by the end of February, early March, you already start with the spring break stuff in some places, and then it becomes a mob scene again. There used to be, quote unquote quiet time. January was traditionally a very quiet time at Disney World. There are no quiet times anymore. There's just degrees of insanity that are slightly less than other times of the year. That's what it comes down to. You found some ashtrays, snow globes, tickets, brochures, etcetera, other stuff in the area. Station in San Diego. Very cool. San Diego is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful city. Purportedly with the best weather in the country, day over day. Most sunshine, I think, of any city in the U.S. Calendar days of sunshine, I believe, was the legend. And I think it's true. And just a quick side note about, I talked about my foray back into clothing a little bit, and I have a different store now for the clothing stuff. As tradition would hold, I'm already starting to get the things, the messages about you could put this is what frustrated me to no end about clothing before, and it's coming back to me now, is like you put up a football jersey for sale on eBay, put every detail you could possibly imagine in you fill out every item specific, you put measurements, you put all this stuff, and you're always going to get the message with what's the pit to pit measurement? If you turn it sideways, and so my wife and I were out for a quick dinner, and of course I got 3 messages basically like that. Can you give me the measurement of this to this? Even though there was 5 other measurements on a stupid jersey. And, I ran back and I took a new picture with the tape measure on there again, said, here are the requested measurements. Have a great night, whatever. Thanks. And then, of course, never to be seen again. And they never buy. I hate that about clothing. The people that 9 times out of 10, if they ask you questions like that, they're never going to buy. They just bust your chops and ask you for all this. You go through hoops and then they don't buy it. I don't get that with print ads. That's why I love ephemera. You don't get that kind of stuff. Mark doesn't get that with postcards. You found a dozen Disney postcards. Great. Disneyland, right? Enzo has 4 screens for business, but as far as eBay, I use 2 when listing. 1 to list and 1 to search. I'll have a third on a YouTube video in the background. That's cool. Yeah, I could definitely understand that. See, if I have background, if I'm listing, let's just say, right, we said I'm more of a music guy, or I'll listen to like a podcast or something where I don't have to watch anything. Because for me personally, if I'm watching a YouTube video, I don't think I'm listing the most efficiently, or as efficient as I can, because I'm being distracted by virtue of watching a video instead of looking at my listing screen. That's just me. Everybody has different techniques, and like my wife is crazy when it comes to, like, she loves movies. She'll watch a movie, but she can't just sit and, I hate movies. No offense. I'm not a movie guy. I can't just sit there for 3 hours watching a movie, with very few exceptions. So let's say we're going to spend some time. We're going to watch a movie tonight. Okay. And we cuddle up, we sit down, we fire up the movie. 30 seconds into the movie, I have to do something in my hand. She's knitting while watching the movie, or she's on the phone with the stupid texting and all stuff. I'm like, aren't you watching the movie? Yeah, but I can't just sit and watch a movie. I'm the polar opposite. Like, if I'm watching a movie, I'm going to watch the movie. Otherwise, why am I wasting my time sitting here? I don't need to occupy myself with other things, I guess is my point here. And that's one thing that she just can't, like, it's not like fidgety or anything. And the same thing, like what I just said about, like, she helped me a couple of months ago with when we got the postcard. She was sleeving up. I mean, she does great work. Don't get me wrong. And she's super organized. She organized postcards for me. She put them all on sleeves and everything, but she can't just do that. She's got to have, Faulty Towers playing in the background and all these like multiple things going on at once, instead of just hanging out and doing what you're supposed to be doing. Are you guys like that? Do you need to multitask, is the term, right? Multitask. I guess I'm more basic when it comes to that. And it's not on purpose. It's just the way I am. If I'm listing, I'm listing. I like to have music in the background, and I might hum a phrase or two, but I can't imagine. It's not that I can't. I wouldn't want to watch. If I'm going to watch one of those videos I described to you earlier, if somebody's doing this cool new unboxing of some Beatle LPs, I want to watch that. I don't want to have that playing, watch it. Oh, yeah, I got a list. 1946, and go back and forth and back and forth. It's going to take away from my enjoyment of watching the video. And it's going to, grind my productivity to a halt, but I'm trying to list some stuff. But everybody's different. Everybody's different. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Happy Friday to you. Yeah, man, that was my sale of the century so far when it comes to print ads. Thank you, sir. Multitasking, is it? Yeah. I don't know what that is. And my wife's case anyway, I don't know if it's multitasking or just she has this chronic need to be doing something with her hands at the same time. It could be, the movie is just one example. Anything like that. Even if we're like hanging out and sitting at the dinner table and she's eating, she's got something else going at the same time. And, dual stimulation of, like, she always needs multiple things going on at once to feel balanced. Which I think it's interesting. It's not me. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Happy Friday to you, Lori. Good to see you. Got Lori and Mark in the house tonight, all hanging out. It's probably getting close to dinner time out there. So I don't know if you guys are cooking. Who's on cooking duty tonight? But whatever you do, hope it's good food tonight. Hope you enjoy it. We're going to a place tomorrow called, I'm going to plug here for a place in Pennsylvania that's kind of famous. It's called Shady Maple Smorgasbord. It's just a big old buffet run by like the Pennsylvania Dutch people. It's been there for a while. We go a lot. They have a nice, one of the things that always lures us there is, first of all, it's a buffet. It's all you can eat. And there's so much variety. And they people bus in from New York City, which is like a 2-hour ride. They bus in from all over the place. It's like an event. And they have a very big gift shop downstairs, and they have a lot of homemade goods and all that stuff. But you know, even with my eating, I've been on the no carb thing since June 28th, and they still have so many options, like, you know, tons of meats and fish and seafood, and which is kind of the same thing. So much to drink and eat. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going out there. It's like an hour drive. Really, really excited about that. But if you're ever in the Pennsylvania area, I saw somebody, one of the Disney guys I watch, actually, you know, he's always in Disney doing the park blogs or whatever they're called. And he did a video. I guess he's from Pennsylvania. I didn't know that. And he did a video all about Shady Maple, which I thought was funny because it's a place we go to. But if you're ever out in in Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, I highly recommend Shady Maple Smorgasbord, folks. They have also, this is what stinks. They close on Sundays because it's the Amish thing. That's fine. So my birthday's on Sunday, and they have a free birthday dinner. If it's your birthday, you just show them your driver's license and you get a free meal. But since my birthday is Sunday and they're closed, and we're going on Saturday, guess what? They don't offer it on Saturday. It has to be the next business day after, which is Monday. Not cool. Not cool. Come on, Shady Maple. We're bringing like 7 people. Throw me a free buffet. Drives me nuts. We got to change that rule. Lori needs to feel like she's accomplishing something. Ooh. I like that statement. And is it referring to anything specifically? I like the statement as a general statement. Steven's been trying to list consistently every day. Do you find you get more eBay traffic if you like? Absolutely. I think that's almost I don't think that's even up for debate. It's almost factual that you will probably get more traffic if you keep listing every day. Whether that translates into sales necessarily, who knows? But all this stuff, there's a correlation between all of it, right? You would think the more traffic you have, the better your opportunities are for making sales. I'm a big believer in that. I've seen that black and white. You know, if I am away for a period of time, like I just was for a week, and I put my store on vacation mode or whatever, there's obviously, unless you schedule listings, which is a whole other conversation. If you just go on a vacation mode or whatever from eBay or any other platform, and you have 0 listings going into play for a period of time, no doubt about it. You can see the curve, the traffic drops. My sale quantity daily definitely dropped. And then of course you see the opposite. I came back, I started listing, and there goes the thing up and down. There's little to no doubt in my mind that minimally, yes, your traffic will be consistent or go up the more you list. Absolutely. Every day. Even if it's an item or 2 every day, it's just something. I'm a huge proponent of that. And I don't know why that is necessarily, that eBay's algorithm just favors that. They like people, that they like stores. It's really a computer. When you say they, let's be honest, it's just a computer. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of numbers. But the program likes when you feed it consistently. So I definitely try to do that. I can't think of a day where I haven't listed, short of if I'm on a trip or whatever. Yeah. But even that, nowadays, I hear they have Chromebooks I could take on the road and do some listing. Papa Murphy's. What's that? What's Papa Murphy's? Another smorgasbord? Mark has a lot of conversations with resellers, and most of the time they do not have a dollar goal. They just keep burning out trying to reach an amount. Yeah, that's a good point. The thing is, when you reach a goal, there's something wrong with now reestablishing a new goal that exceeds your original goal. I mean, at some point, though, and I really appreciate what Mark says, because he's very he's content with the numbers he does, and if he gets a little more, so be it. That's cool, but he's not going to bust it necessarily. I think that's true of you, right, Mark? You're satisfied with your level. You are productive. You are consistent, and you're happy with your returns. Excuse me. And it's true. You don't want to keep burning yourself out and saying, I want to make $1 million a year this year on eBay, and they go nuts. And if they make 500,000, they think they failed. I don't know. There is a point where you should just be happy with what you got. Okay, thank you very much, Karen. I appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Thanks for popping in. That's what you do stuff while you watch TV. Oh, I got you. I got you. So you think, watching a movie is a quote unquote a waste of time, and you like to have some kind of productivity while doing so. That's cool. I could see that. I think that's actually very, very much like my wife. She wants to be doing something else. But I mean, to me, and again, I'm not a movie guy, but to me, the concept of sitting down to watch a movie means, by definition, that's a relaxation period, whether it's an hour and a half or 3 hours on the length of the film. So I don't think there's any harm in treating yourself to the 3 hours to put your feet up and crack open a cold drink and enjoy a movie without the need to do something else. You're working on it. Now that's a different story, because to me, the idea would be to get the hell out of the cube. We call it the cube. My friends and I in the band were like, collectively, the office job is called the cube for the cubicle. So we used to have this mantra, we got to get out of the cube. We got to get out of the cube. That's time well spent. I did that too. I was working on eBay all the time while at the cube, trying not to get caught. Oh yeah, Friendly Farms. They're probably similar. Yeah, man. It's nice. It's just, I guess the only different thing about this place, I don't know if it's different, but unique thing, is the whole Amish thing. So it's like all homemade. If you're not familiar with Amish, just go on Google. It's like this German. They're originally from Germany, and they kind of retain the old ways. They drive around on horses and all that. It's pretty cool. That's not too far from us. But the food is outrageously good. It's plentiful. And they have a really nice gift shop downstairs with like homemade clothing and furniture and all these things. It's an event. It's a nice place to go. It's very clean. It's always packed though, especially on Saturday. 66% of cards you sold in 23 were listed for 16 months or less. That's not bad. Sell through for postcards. Good stuff. Mark is also keen on numbers and stuff, which I think is a good thing. Pizza take and bake. Yes, Mr. and Mr. Mermaid. There you go. Papa Murphy's is so good. Part-time reselling 24. You want to have 16 cards a day, $80. Right. And to that end, you're satisfied with that. Watching a movie is also an accomplishment. You have a list of movies and shows you want to say, oh, is that right? You could check it off your list. Not a movie guy. I find no joy in sitting down and watching a movie. Never been into them. Like a fool. Remember I just talked earlier about this measurement thing that I ran back to get this guy, and of course he did. This was at 6:30, which is an hour and a half ago. I'm almost tempted, like, is there any, like, sometimes almost like wise assy, I want to write afterwards, say, is there anything else you need? Is there anything else I can help you with? To kind of prompt a response. You know what I mean? It drives me nuts. I took an extra picture. And even more frustrating, I didn't realize I have like these bags that I put my clothing in to keep them clean and all. And I thought, like, for my print ads, they're resealable. You can peel it off. I forgot that these aren't resealable. So I basically just blew off a bag. I had to reopen a nicely pressed, clean shirt, open it back up, do the picture with the measurement, and now I need to use another bag. So I'm out a nickel for this guy. Buy the shirt. Those are things I always hated about clothing. That has reared its ugly head again. Ralph looks for Mark's insights from a data perspective. Oh, absolutely, man. He's a data-driven human being. And there's a lot of benefit to be had. Absolutely, I agree. He does great videos breaking down the success or failure of the eBay standard envelope system every month with like actual numbers, what percentage, arrived safely, what percentage never arrived, all that kind of stuff. So again, everybody go check out SM Postcards on YouTube for consistent content and very creative thumbnails. Some of the best in the industry. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to talk about? Any questions, any comments, any ideas? Because if not, I'm probably going to call it pretty soon. It's almost 8 o'clock. And I want to go relax. I'm not going to watch a movie, though. But I want to relax a little bit tonight. Got the big weekend coming up. I'm excited about it. We already had a dinner. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, like, after I come back from a dinner like that, I just want to go to bed. And I'm like, nope, got to be consistent. Got to get on YouTube and say hi. But I'm not going to go to bed, but I just want to relax a little bit, fire up some records. You know what I mean? Enjoy the fruits of a day well done. The category sell-through rate is awesome. Oh yeah, he breaks down specific postcard categories and the sell-through. Absolutely, different states. I think he even has videos about the different what states do well, what states aren't so well, all that kind of stuff. I love data. I do, not in a nerdy way, but like, you know, concrete information like that instead of speculation and theory. I like that. Like when things are black and white, they're black and white. You know, the question earlier, do you think if you list every day, your traffic goes up? I could pretty much matter of factly say, yes, I know it does. But as always, you know, you say listing, like we talked about earlier, it's not just about listing. It's listing good items, listing quality items, desirable items, not listing. I don't list for the sake of, like, you could have a goal. I want to list X amount of listings every day. Well, that's great. But, you know, I don't want to just achieve a goal and say, oh, I found, here's the thing, a chapstick. I'm going to put this up to get to my 100th listing today. So I make 100, you know, common sense, but they have to be quality listings, things that will sell, not just listing for the sake of listing to make some arbitrary goal come true for you on a daily basis or a weekly basis or whatever it is. Enzo, what is a good minimum amount of print ads you think you need listed to have consistent sales of 1 to 3 a day? Yeah, tons of variables. I don't know that there's a given number. Several thousand. Postcards and print ads have comparable overall sell-throughs, like 2%, 2-3%. So anything with the sell-through rate that's low like that, you just need volume. So obviously, the more the better is the simple answer. You know, I'm sure if I had 50,000 print ads, I'd be selling a lot more than, you know, where I sit at 3,000 or 4,000. But again, that's not a static number. You know, I'm selling a bunch and then listing, so I'm always around 3,000 to 4,000. But I could definitely, back to the beginning conversation about, wouldn't it be nice to have somebody to scan for me? It really would. It would increase the productivity, because then if I could just sit down, open a folder, and have hundreds and hundreds of ads, my God, I could list a couple of hundred of those every day easily. You know, and then those the 50,000, whatever number you want to make up in your head, 20,000, 50,000. It could quickly become a reality. You know, there is just a time component to all of this stuff. It does take time to use even the duplex scanner, as fast as it is. It takes some time to load up the cards and list them. Scan them. The print ads are slower than that. Although Kelly was on Surf Dude Kelly was on the show on Monday, and he showed me, he picked up a duplex scanner. It's essentially a duplex scanner, but it can accommodate print ad footprint. So he's feeding print ads now through a duplex scanner, like most of us would do for the postcards. And that's outrageously cool, because now I would be a little weary about the paper. Some of the paper and the print ads, especially the Depression era and 40s, that very, very thin paper, I would worry about ripping a piece of paper. But I guess like anything else, if you're careful and load it properly, it could be your friend. But that was like a $3,000 printer, I think he said he got, or scanner he got. So kudos to Kelly. I'm sure he's a ambitious young man, and I'm sure he'll make it work and kick some butt with them. But that's a good way to get your productivity up too. Sell through dog. There you go. And feel free to throw a link in there, Mark, if you want, for that store. You're listing daily for a year. You didn't see much for your effort. You realize you did most of your listing close to midnight every day. That's a whole, yeah, there's a lot of schools of thought about what's the best time to list, quote unquote. You would think in the morning, only because of the time component. If you list it in the morning, then you have the remainder of that day, potentially, right, for things to be looked at. So I get, as opposed to if you list at midnight, they're not going to be viewed till the next day. But I don't know. I don't know if there's it makes sense. It's logical that just, again, the time horizon is increased the earlier you list in a day, because you'll get more views that given day. If you're done listing, whatever done means, by 9 or 10 in the morning, you have the remainder of the day for those fresh listings to be looked at. But again, and we're dealing with a worldwide audience at this point. So there is no morning that, you're 3 hours behind us, Lori. So your midnight is our 3 a.m. and all that stuff. So all those things kind of come into play. You think that there's going to be nobody looking at your stuff overnight, but it's midday in, India or whatever, or even in Europe is 5-6 hours ahead of us. So Time. Now you change the listing time to early and it's been more beneficial. Well, there you go. Probably for the things I just said, right? That's why you don't see me on. No problem. I appreciate when you come in. Anytime you come in, it's a better show when you're on it. Yeah, that's true. You could also schedule listings to go off at whatever time you'd like. That's very true. Used to be a paid. Used to be you had to pay. Right now it's free. That's one of the things that I like about 6-bit. You could schedule before eBay went ahead and did that. Yeah, if it's I made up 2. It's probably 2 or 3%, whatever. But yeah, you need volume. You need volume to make a lot every day. 1 to 2. The raw photos sell themselves. Yeah, scarcity and uniqueness. Like, I don't know, a Honus Wagner print ad from 1910. You know, it's going to jump to the top of the pile. So that's the goal for all of us, is try to find those. Try to source, list, make good listings on things that people want. The last 4 or 5 weeks, you've been scheduling listings to drop at 1 a.m. Pacific. Okay. Between 1 and 2 a.m. Cool. Yeah, and I'm all for that kind of stuff. Getting back to data-driven, processes and testing. I'm all for that kind of stuff. Like, I've never even used the eBay's new functionality where you could schedule listings for different times, but that would be a fun little project. Have 100 go off at 1 a.m., have 100 go off at 3 a.m., different times, and see if you can notice some trends over a period of time. It's not okay, one night I did this and this was the result, therefore that's the rule. You got to do it over a space of time, obviously, right, to get more accurate results. But that would be something fun. That doesn't have to be 100, because that's a pretty lofty goal. But whatever, 10 things go off at morning, 10 things in the afternoon, 10 things in the evening, even something as simple as that. Do that for a month straight and analyze the results of that stuff and see if it's something you want to incorporate into your daily routine. If you see some good results from it. All right, guys, it's a little after 8. I think I'm going to call it a night, unless anybody else has anything specific they wanted to talk about or ask or mention. Let me know. If not, I'll see you guys on Monday night when I come back, and we'll do some more listing. We'll do some more print ad listing on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And just in time, just waking up, is Dawn right. How you doing, Dawn? I'm about to sign off. Little hour show tonight. Just wanted to kind of come on and say hi. But good to have you. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Mark, very much. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Let me know. Oh, my goodness. And unfortunately, this nice weather that we've had, it's been lousy. It's been raining and cloudy, but it was in the 50s, so it felt really warm. Comes to a dramatic end. What's today? Friday? I think on Sunday we're back to normal for the rest of next week. Back to winter. But this little break was much appreciated after Mark Chicago and the -5 and 30 below wind chill. You can keep all that stuff, let me just tell you. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Yay. Sunday. All right, guys. I'll see you on Monday night then. We'll do some listing about 7 p.m. on Sunday. All right. Have a great weekend. Thanks very much for the fun, and I'll talk to you then.